Alakazam! Live and in person here from Ebbing, New Hampshire, home of three of New Hampshire's governors, of which I can only name one guy, the name of Prescott. The other two I can't remember, so to heck with them. Mr. B here from POLI-Ticking with Mr. B. This evening we are starting at an earlier time tonight. Want to say thank you very much for coming in and watching and looking for things and saying hello and whatnot, telling your friends, sharing along. Hey, Mr. B's early this year. So Mr. B's early, but we still got things we got to do. So if we've got my wonderful engineer Blazeman, please, sir, run up the colors. We'd like to get the show on the road. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And what a wonderful flag it is. It's a flag that I love to wake up in the morning and seeing, and at night I like to retire. Ah, my word. There are a lot of things that have been going on, ladies and gentlemen, things that have been happening that are a disgrace to that flag and to the people and the personnel that have fought and given of themselves, even the ultimate supreme sacrifice. We've got people in Washington and lawmakers, attorneys general, or whatever else you want to call them, prosecuting attorneys or whatever else, that are pissing all over it recently. But that's another story for another time, ladies and gentlemen. Talking about things. Tonight, we're going to be discussing a couple of subjects that need to be discussed because everybody keeps trying to shove them under the rug or brush them off and make it as though it's something that just doesn't need to be looked at or didn't happen. And go away, kid, you bother me. No. A few months ago now, there was a multiple victim shooting at a church and school run by Presbyterian people. And the unfortunate person who was reportedly the perpetrator of the crime was shot dead. Okay. And almost immediately, we had the reports, we had things that were being said, they even had videos that were out about it and so forth. Even after a short period of time, they had police body cams and everything. It seemed all above board. One thing. I apologize for the problems that we're having. We've been having some problems with our internet services, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have you. Anyway, there have been problems receiving any information at all about what's going on with this manifesto. And some people are opining that it has something to do with it. They don't want to release it because of pending lawsuits and blah, blah, blah. No. No. Whatever's inside that manifesto doesn't have anything to do with how the police acted or reacted. I'm not buying that bullshit. That to me smells like sausage McBullshit with egg. Nope. Conversely, a fellow in Provo, Utah, very recently, is I believe 6 or 7 or 8, maybe 8 days ago now, who was apparently, by reports, known to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, was killed by members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, according to reports. Killed by members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation when they showed up at his property a little after 6 o'clock in the morning, apparently. And they say some sort of standoff happened and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, from a video that was taken by someone living in a neighboring home, you can see the flashbangs going off, and then boom, boom, and that's it. And this person's down, gone. And by the way, it just so happens that maybe later that afternoon or the next day, Joe Biden just happened to be going to that area to give a speech. And all of the people coming out saying, oh, well, he threatened this. He wrote that threatening thing, whatever else. We've got some video. Let's first, I don't know, Blazeman, can you get up the video first of the Presbyterian church and school shooting issue? One of the short ones. The longer one we can go up later, but one of the short ones that just shows the one with the police entering the school. If you've got that, I'd appreciate it. We can get that up. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, reportedly, according to reports, we will see this, and I'll be back to discuss soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Into my window, so they're upstairs.
Hey. Give me 3. Let's get 3. Let's go. I need 3.
One more.
Let's go. Metro Police.
Open door. On me. We don't know where he is. Metro Police, open door. Bathroom, small bathroom. Clear.
Next. Let's go. Door. With me.
Hold the door.
Next.
Check this.
Open it. I got it.
Bathroom.
Let's go.
Come out. Door right now. Let's go.
Just move right. Hover left. Take this with me. Take this. No, that's locked. Take this door. Take this door. Take it. Sounds like it's upstairs.
Go. What's an LPBO? What's an LPBO? Reloading!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you can see my degree of interest here. Obviously, we have something that is complete. It's very graphic, but you got the story, and there's no hiding around it. Now, conversely, it has been said that FBI agents do not utilize body cams. Okay. But we're going to see a video which is very as detailed as possibly can. And in that video, if you look close enough, I'm sure you look for it, it's easy enough to see in some areas, there is a ring on the front of the house. You can't tell me that there isn't video of this incident going on. Do we have that video, Mr. Blazeman? I hope we've got that ready. We'll have to get a look at that and show that. There's a bit of a length to it, but also to the credit, we watched long enough. I believe it was the last video that I had forwarded to my engineer. There is about the decedent's family talking with the news. But let's watch what we've got here.
A Provo home now clear after a deadly FBI shooting there yesterday.
Tonight, we are learning more about Craig Robertson, the man who allegedly made credible threats to President Joe Biden's life. And for the first time, we are hearing from Robertson's family. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Heidi Hatch.
And I'm Mark Cabell. Glad you are with us tonight. We start with 2 News team coverage for you, digging a little bit deeper into that Provo incident from yesterday.
Jim is live at the airport following the president's departure. And joining us in studio this night is a former FBI agent, Carl Schmay, who will be sharing his insight on this case and what happens next.
Yeah, first, though, Ariel is back in Provo tonight where all this went down. Ariel, community members are still pretty shocked by what happened there yesterday.
That's right. The investigative teams have since cleared the area that happened just earlier this afternoon. But this is the first time we are getting an up-close look at the home. Someone's left flowers here. Then if you follow me this way, you can see that the window is boarded up on Craig Robertson's home. Now, this video you should be seeing was taken by neighbors. It shows federal agents outside Robertson's home early yesterday morning attempting to execute a search warrant. Leading up to President Biden's visit, the FBI stated Robertson's social media activity was threatening towards him along with other government officials. Details about that altercation between Robertson and the FBI have not been released, but according to the Associated Press, Robertson was armed.
There's the ring.
One community member hopes to see more answers and soon about what led up to the shooting.
How did this escalate? How did they end up killing him? Did they identify themselves when they showed up?
What, in your mind, is a reasonable timeline to get answers?
Well, they should be able to answer pretty darn quickly since the guy is dead. I mean, I'm thinking we should have some serious information already.
Now coming out for a live look here at the scene that they've cleared of Robertson's home. The woman we just heard from says she doesn't agree with those death threats, but says she has concern about the FBI coming to Robertson's home and shooting him. Now, we've posted all of the information the FBI has shared about the incident up to this point on our website, along with the joint statement released from Robertson's family just today. Again, that's all on KUTV.com right now. Reporting live in Provo, Ariel Harrison, KUTV 2 News.
All right, Ariel, thank you very much. To get a little more perspective and some FBI protocol insights into what happened yesterday in Provo, we have former FBI agent Carl Schmay with us today.
That's right. Carl is a security consultant and retired FBI agent. Thanks for coming in to speak with us today.
Oh, you're welcome.
We unfortunately see all too often officer-involved shootings, and we know the protocols after that happens where after about 10 days, usually we have videotape released. Eventually we'll hear the district attorney go through the case and talk about what happened. In the case of the FBI, what's the next step, and when will the public know exactly what happened that morning and maybe what went wrong?
So this is going to be handled a little bit differently, Heidi. So this is going to be handled internally by the FBI. There's an inspection division out of the FBI headquarters, so they send people here to conduct a review. There's not going to be any body cam video. Agents don't wear body cams.
Let me just ask you and play devil's advocate, because I just heard the lady who was a neighbor say they should be able to figure this out pretty quickly. The guy's dead. It doesn't happen that way, but does that make the FBI suspect? Because really there's no outside agency that's going to come and look into your agency. What's your answer to that criticism?
You know, I've seen several shooting reviews. They're very thorough. I mean, literally there will be a report about this thick that's going to go over all aspects. So.
And you were a SWAT member with the FBI, were you not?
I was on the SWAT team for 10 years. Actually, on that SWAT team for 10 years.
So you know you know the process then.
I know the process, okay. Yeah.
Speaking of process, what happened yesterday is part of a long story that goes all the way back to March. It starts with him posting online some things I think a lot of people might voice out loud, or anger or frustration, but then it took a turn from a First Amendment rights speech maybe to something where the FBI shows up at your porch. What happened where he crossed the line, in your mind, from First Amendment rights to making clear threats?
That's a great question, Heidi. So there were actually some earlier posts that he had made last year saying things like "death to Biden" with a picture of a skull. That kind of language, even though a lot of us would think, that's not very civil, it's not very nice, that's going to be protected. In March, what crossed the line is when he made a very specific threat that he was going to New York to kill the district attorney, Alvin Bragg.
Mm-hmm. And it was pretty graphic what he said about that. Fast forward to what happened yesterday. FBI agents were on his porch fairly early in the morning. A lot of people are asking, why go surprise someone and catch them off guard when they might be angry or wondering if someone's breaking into their house? Why does it work like that in an operation where they're there so early in the morning?
So the FBI wants the tactical advantage of surprise. So a lot of times people are sleeping at that time of the morning. So ideally you can catch them before they can take any sort of action. And in this case, Mr. Robertson had said he was going to be armed and waiting for the FBI if they ever came back to his house.
So you had that. They had that in their minds as they were going there to. Now, were they going there to make an arrest or serve a search warrant?
So, so this complaint says it's for an arrest warrant, and I think there was going to be a search conducted concurrently as well.
Just to see what was in that house based on some of the statements he had made.
Exactly. You know, and I think what's interesting to note is that he was visited by the FBI in March. In my experience, when most people are visited by the FBI, that's enough to get them to kind of knock off their behavior.
Right.
But in this case, he escalated. He started making threats against the agents. And then this week, he really kind of took it to another level when he made threats against the president as the president was coming to Utah.
Okay, we got to let you go. Last question. Did the president know about any of this?
I'm sure he was briefed.
Okay.
And the Secret Service certainly would have been aware of this.
All right.
And we know that investigation could possibly take months. When we get that, we'll come back and talk to you a little bit about what they found and exactly what happened there at that home.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Carl. Last night, our chief.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You had a lot of information there about how FBI runs their operations and so forth, and do things. And the fellow claims that there was not body cameras because FBI does not use body cameras. Okay, great, fine, fantastic, wonderful, whatever. Where's the video images from the ring? You can't tell me that this guy didn't have the ring going. It was sitting right there. You saw it in plain sight. Those things don't just shut themselves off. Where is the video from the ring? Where is the report that these people are supposed to say that they have? That they do 90-page reports to investigate things and whatever else, and blah, 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 blah. Where is it? And where is the manifesto? Now, again, look back to this video where they have all of these things about internet postings and social media things and things that they had that were written months before, and records about prior visits by the FBI and complaints and so forth. And all of this. They had all of this in hand in front of cameras in less than a week. Where is this manifesto and why is it being held? Don't tell me it's because of some lawsuit thing or whatever else, which that is just a unreasonable hunk of bullshit. What is inside that manifesto that the government people are so afraid to release and to let the American public know and see? Obviously, there must be some form of danger there they don't want people to find out or learn about. Because what other reason could there possibly be? What other reason could there possibly be? This thing about lawsuits no. If the federal government takes and puts so many things out here about this fellow that they killed, about all of these things that were written and printed and put on the internet and threats that were made and blah, 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 blah. If they can release that, and you know there's going to be lawsuits about this guy dying anyway, why can't they release the manifesto that's there? We're going to be taking a break in a moment here, folks. And when we come back, I'm going to bring in my engineer, and I'd like to have him give his thoughts. And we've got another aspect of another video that we're going to be adding in as well. In the meantime, we're going to take a break, and we will be back with you in probably about 3 to 3.5 minutes. I'm glad that you're here. If you got something, ask, write it in, and our Blazeman's going to put up an email address for us as well. So if you want to write something, sending it an email, we'll be happy to take care of that. We'll be back in about 3.5 minutes. Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Holding on to each other, miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you very much for watching. This is Politicking with Mr. B. I have my engineer, Mr. Blazeman, who's whirling and girling. He's got his woozies and gornacks and whatever else is going on back there. That's bringing up yet another video for us to watch. Again, this has another view of what happened with the gentleman who got killed by the FBI a few days ago. We have that ready. Thank you very much, Mr. Blazeman. You can go ahead and launch that.
Emily Flores, we thank you for joining us here tonight. A historic visit today, President Joe Biden in Utah. But before he touched down, an FBI raid ended with the Provo man dead, suspected of threatening the president.
The FBI identifying that man as Craig Robertson. ABC4's Jonathan May joining us live from the scene. He's been there all day collecting the latest. What can you tell us tonight, Jonathan?
Emily, Glenn, here's the scene roughly 15 hours after the shooting took place. Police tape is still up, and it looks like agents have a mobile unit outside the home. Agents were here trying to serve an arrest and search warrant. That's when the man identified as Craig Robinson was shot and killed, leaving community members who knew him from their local church shocked.
I just can't believe this happened in my neighborhood. I just can't believe that, that it came to this. It just seems unreal, like a complete overreaction.
Officials tell us the investigation in Robertson dates back to April. According to court documents, Robertson posted online saying, "I hear Biden is coming to Utah, digging out my old ghillie suit and cleaning the dust off the M24 sniper rifle." In addition to making several threatening posts on his Facebook, agents say Robertson suggested online he would take physical action.
And I honestly think that he may have just let himself get taken away on social media. I can't imagine that he could either physically or mentally act on any of that at all.
Through their investigation, the FBI said Robertson allegedly did own a sniper rifle and ghillie suit. No word yet on what took place leading up to the shooting.
He went to church every Sunday, so would have never expected something like this to happen.
The people who attended his ward said Robertson was in his late 70s.
He loved his guns and he loved woodworking as a hobby, but I never saw anything that indicated that he might be violent. And he could be a kind of curmudgeonly old guy. Every ward's got one.
Right now, the FBI is not sharing with us any more information at this time, but they say they take any investigation involving a shooting with their agents very seriously. Reporting live in Provo, Jonathan May, ABC4 News.
Okay. Again, take whatever I have to say with a grain of salt, but you've seen it now, I don't know how many different times, and it's on a number of different videos, all saying exactly the same thing. Nothing is adding up here. There are too many questions. The FBI and all the talking heads and so forth, and the media are saying they're convicting this fellow in the court of public opinion. Oh, he did this. Oh, he did that. Oh, he did this. Oh, he did that. And they happen to have, by the way, all the internet postings and so forth that supposedly supports what they have to say. Great, fine, wonderful, fantastic. Where's the video? If all of these things are an open and shut case, they should have no problem whatsoever bringing in the video. With that having been said, I'm going to reach out to my engineer and ask Blaze, would you come in here and see if you could help us out with this discussion, please?
Hello there, Mr. B. How are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to see Blaze, but for those of you who may be watching him and see before, this is our engineer, the magic that makes it all happen.
They probably see me too much.
Well, all right.
Thank you very much, Mr. B.
Blazeman, you've seen these videos and you've been helping us out, and thank you very, very much. And I know at this point you must be very well versed in what's been going on. Am I all wet here?
Oh boy, Mr. B. I think on yesterday's show, on The Way We See It, which you're on the panel, and of course it's my show, your show, and Mr. D's and Mr. Donnie's show. So look, this is what I'm saying, right? So Biden comes off Air Force One after this is already done. Okay. Now, I mean, we got some serious high powered rifles that someone could get no problem. The scopes that you can buy are insane. Okay? They had to deal with this guy, Mr. B. They had to deal with him. Especially saying that, he's got his sniper rifle and his ghillie suit ready. Now, that tells the FBI Secret Service, man. I mean, he could potentially take out the president within a mile. A good sniper with
I
skill,
know.
mile, half
My, my
mile.
my late father, rest his soul, was one of those people.
Okay, so
Okay,
Mr.
so
B.
I know what you're saying to be absolutely true. Yes.
So Secret Service, you can't close out that radius. Okay, you can't. I seen it firsthand when Bill Clinton came to visit Fall River, Massachusetts. Okay, now we have two parks. One that sits at the top of the hill, okay, and one that sat at the bottom of the hill, which had a main roadway splitting the two parks. When Bill Clinton came in, he did all of his stuff on the bottom park. Why? Because even if it was you was running or you had to run, you could access the water. Okay. Now, their Secret Service, FBI, there was boats out there. The people in all the buildings. Okay. Now, if you've seen Fall River, there's a lot of three-family buildings, three-decker buildings. We call them three-family buildings. Okay.
I know
And
through that. It's the Boston battleships.
okay, sir. So, um, you know, they they made them people leave their homes. Okay, literally made them people leave their homes so someone couldn't stick a weapon or a gun or anything out the window or anything like that. So now, to get and protect that entire radius, we'll say up to 500 yards. 500 yards, let's see. That's
Okay.
going to be about 6 city blocks. Okay? 6 city blocks, 5 city blocks. That you're going to close off that entire area. Okay? The amount of manpower, I don't it could be laughable. I mean, they probably do cordon off that type of an area.
I'm going to ask you a couple things.
Okay,
First off,
let me finish, Mr.
oh, okay,
B.
okay, go ahead, go
I'm
ahead.
getting to my point. I'm getting
Go
to
ahead.
my point. Okay.
Go ahead.
Donnie's like, oh, he's rambling. He's rambling. I can hear Donnie in my freaking head right now. My point is that that's why they had to go and see this guy, Mr. B. I don't think the guy was definitely radicalized. Okay. And what I mean by radicalized is like his beliefs are like, I don't know, Mr. B. I think that I got you know, um, a pretty good belief system, you know, and you know how I feel about the current president, okay? But I'm not gonna freaking put online, Mr. B, that I got a 20-yard six, okay, with a laser scope, because I'm gonna take out the president of the United States. The
Okay.
FBI visited him already one time, Mr. B. Remember?
Yeah,
And
yeah. So
FBI
was said,
and like
and
that,
so was acknowledged.
well, Mr. B, the FBI expert, not only was an FBI expert for the news channel, he used to be on the SWAT team that just did that job.
I
So,
understand that. I understand that.
okay,
More fuel for my fire, saying that they're working to cover this thing up. I have to interject something here. Do you
go ahead.
remember back when President Trump was still president, and Mike Pence was vice president. Mike Pence was coming out here to New Hampshire, and he was going to fly into Pease Air Force Base or Pease, whatever transport now, whatever it is. They've shut down the air base, I guess. He's going to fly into Pease, and he was going to be for some sort of a rally or something here. And suddenly, he at the last minute, he couldn't show up. And the reason why? Because someone had called somewhere and reported having heard, they said they heard gunshots somewhere in downtown Manchester, something like that. That waved off Mike Pence.
You're only proving my point.
There was no certification, and there was no actual
no actual gunshots or anything like that. It was a false story.
It was apparently a false story.
Okay, you willing to take that chance?
So why in the hell
are you willing to take
Biden
that
come
chance?
along when they know that they got somebody who's a Twinkie or something like that? I'm going to come anyway. So get rid of this guy, and I'm going to come anyway. It's their idea, just sweeping the problem out. I believe the FBI overstepped their bounds here. I believe they tripped over their dicks. I believe this was a sanctioned execution.
What for?
To make an example of him.
To make an example of him? All right, look, I can't be more, I think, accurate in what I'm saying. They already visit this man one time. They already seen him. And again, like the FBI agent that used to be on that team that just conducted that, exercise, okay, says they visited him already. Usually when you visit a nut from the FBI and you say, look, man, we know what you're putting up there online, okay? You put, freedom of speech and all of that shit like that. But it is actually against the law to threaten the President of the United States. It is against
couldn't they have made this visit
law.
and
Now,
served this warrant and whatever else a week before? Why did they have to wait until the day of or the day before Biden showing up? Why?
Well, you know what, Mr. B? I don't know, Mr. B. Maybe, the Biden administration. What was he in Utah for? A speech? What?
As I understand, it was some sort of a speech of some kind or something.
Okay.
Something of that nature. Some of these.
All right. So, what we need to look at, Mr. B, is what Biden's schedule was that week. Now, Mr. B, okay, anybody can go on to the White House website and you can get the president's schedule.
Right.
Okay.
What's that have to do with the fact that the FBI? The FBI knew about this guy for so long, and they happened to choose this time. They couldn't have done this a week earlier.
Mr. B, I will agree with your assessment if we see the president's schedule.
Yeah.
That, let's see, we'll go back like 2 weeks before this incident, and you can look at the president's schedule, and you can determine when he had that Utah scheduled for. Now, Mr. B.
Yeah.
If he only decided to go to Utah 2 days and gave everybody 2 days in advance, like, oh, I really gotta do this, or you know what I mean? We gotta go and give a speech, whatever. So now they got 2 days. So does it really matter if they went, the first day, the second day, or they choose the day he was actually coming?
Things like this, please, are planned well far in advance. It wasn't an emergency thing like he had to go and tour, a disaster site or something of that nature. No, he was going for some.
Mr. B, these are professionals, okay? These are professional FBI agents, and yes, Mr. B, okay? They can get their shit together in a drop of a dime.
I understand
Okay?
that. I understand that.
In a drop
So
of a dime, sir.
why couldn't they drop this dime a week before?
Well,
if this guy was being so threatening, if he was so dangerous that they had to show up with all of the armor that they showed up with this thing to go to this guy's house, why?
Mr. B, again, we don't know what anybody's schedule's like. We don't know. Again, the FBI 100% aware of this guy. Okay, 100% aware of him. They, knew about him because why, Mr. B? They visited him last year.
Yeah.
Last
so they had
year,
all of this time
and said, "Look,
make up their mind to go over and say, look, we got to do something about this guy."
Right? And no, Mr. B. And they went to his house, and why, Mr. B? Why are you trying to not get me to talk about the first time they visited him, and you just want to focus on what happened just now? Not
How
just
much
now.
do you know about the first time they visited him?
We don't, Mr. B. We do not. We were told, okay? We were told. So I need interns for this show, man, so they can be researching shit and throwing stuff over at me. Anyways, we were only told about the first time he was visited through this FBI agent. Okay.
Thank you. My point exactly.
But Mr.
We only know what we've been told.
He already had a little portfolio on what happened, and you can get that off of the internet. You can look at that. Okay. And I apologize to the people that are watching right now and listening. Well, because Mr. B, we got these things that we're spewing, but we're not putting up any facts up on the screen, Mr. B. Okay?
And why not? Because we don't have the facts. They're not giving us the facts.
Yes, sir, they are. We could have researched the president's schedule. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. That's me talking like a producer. I apologize, everybody. Look, I think the guy. Now, wait a minute. Now, hold on here. Now, on the way we see it, okay, on the way we see it, yesterday, Tuesday, you had said, okay, you had said about his son was blind and all of that stuff like that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And you made a big thing about that, saying that, there's no way he pointed at 357 or he was protecting his blind and whatever. Is he deaf? Was the kid deaf too?
He was not deaf. He was blind, but he was, I believe, multiply handicapped.
Okay, so can you bring back what your argument was last night? Do you remember what was your argument?
One of the arguments was when a whole bunch of people with a bunch of guns shows up on your doorstep, and you're a parent and you have a handicapped child, especially not just a child, a wife, spouse, whatever you have. You are, as a man, you have an obligation to protect your family. I don't give a friggers fuck if they say I can have 9 people show up on my driveway right now and say, "Oh, I'm FBI, I'm CIA, I'm this, I'm that, I'm NSA." Blah, blah. I don't care. I'm going to take out as many of the sons of bitches I possibly can if they are a threat to me and my family, unless I happen to know that there's a damn good reason for them to be there. Why? Because it is not only our right, it is our duty. They who would give up essential liberty for some temporary safety deserve neither safety nor liberty.
Mr. B.
I firmly believe that.
They didn't. Their intent was not to assassinate this guy, Mr. B. Okay?
Sure made quick work of the problem, didn't it?
All I want to know, right, Mr. B, can I give you a hypothetical, okay? All right? Now, say it's you, all right?
Yep.
And you have to protect, okay, these two kids that are with you, okay? You got to protect them, right? No matter what, okay?
Yep.
You're gonna take a brisk. You're on a bike trail or walk trail, just with the kids, right? And then somebody comes running up, right, and says, "Hey, there might be a guy down there shooting people."
Okay.
Gonna continue to walk that way, or what are you
Absolutely
gonna do?
not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay, then.
Assess the situation, and
That's
make
what they're
whatever
doing with
plan
the
I possibly
president.
can. I'm sorry?
That's what they did with the president.
Ah,
You can't take that shit lightly. Any president, vice president, speaker of the house, you can't take that chance.
they didn't have to wait until a day before or a
And
day
I
of.
think that they went to this guy's house to do exactly what they were supposed to do. Okay? Put this guy's ass in cuffs, throw him in a fucking drink, okay? Until Biden's gone. Then do their little investigation, maybe throw him in a joint for about a year or whatever, scare the fucking life out of him. I don't know. Okay? Then let him be on his way. All right? But it didn't happen that way.
Nope.
Okay?
Nope, it didn't. It
Now,
obviously didn't.
Now, there was a Ring video camera on the door. RING. Anybody who's familiar with the Ring camera doorbells. Now, there was one on his door. Are we going to get to see that? What the hell is this?
Well, I'm
Don't
agreeing
start
with you.
acting like Camaro with the whole
No.
hands, the whole hands
No,
thing.
I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, there's the ring was there, and the question is there: are we ever going to get to see the video from that? You can't tell me, oh no, it wasn't recording. Bullshit.
Those things are always recording, and plus it's got a cloud system.
Exactly. So they're not going to be able to get away with saying, oh well, it didn't record anything, or whatever.
I mean, they would definitely
the data
have
is there.
They would definitely have to hack into that because those systems do have like passcodes, that he had put in. So if the FBI does have it, I'm sure they hacked into it by now, but they had to, they have a warrant to look in at. I don't know, man. All I know is I think the guy was a wackadoodle.
Yep. I
And
keep
who
looking at this
knows,
thing, and I
Mr. B?
keep
How
hearing,
old was he?
I keep hearing Ruby Ridge. Ruby Ridge.
How old was he, Mr. B? He wasn't walking outside with his dog, and it got shot by a fucking FBI agent. You know what I mean? The two are not the same, Mr. B.
No. But I think the FBI overstepped their bounds. They went too fast with this, and they just went ahead and boom.
But we don't know. We don't know if they were banging on his door saying FBI. Are you saying that this was already planned out? They got out of their cars, got their tax shit ready to go, walked up to the building, don't knock on those doors, just throw fucking flashbangs through the window.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying that they did.
I believe that they went up there and they blitzed him. They blitz attacked him. thinking, oh well, this guy
I
has all
don't
these weapons. We're not going to give him any chance, and we're going to do this stuff and boom, 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 and that's it. Off it goes.
I don't buy it, Mr. B. I don't buy it. I don't buy it one bit, Mr. B.
Okay, all right.
Okay? I don't.
We differ.
Well, we're
We
different a lot, Mr. B, because you're not giving me anything. I mean, you're trying to create, okay, a controversy that I don't think is there yet. Okay, except for one thing, and that's the Ring camera
right.
system can show us a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so please, sir, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, now, are you saying that they just rushed up to the house, threw the shit through the window, bang, bang, kicked the door in, seen him with a 357, pop, 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 down? Is that what you're saying?
I believe what they did was they rushed up to the house and they did their yelling and screaming or whatever else, and then
So
flashbang in,
so
boom,
you
blitz.
so
I believe that they blitzed this guy.
so you're saying that they identified themselves?
Sure.
Okay, well, you give them that much that they identified themselves.
They they got decals on the side of their truck. How do you not identify that?
No, Mr. B. Those were all special unit vehicles that were out there.
Yeah, with FBI logos on them.
Mr. B.
Yes, sir.
I don't think that the FBI did anything wrong.
Okay.
I think the FBI went by the book. I think if this guy, how old was he? 77?
He was in advanced years. I believe he was somewhere in his early 70s.
Yeah. I read he was 77 years old.
Okay.
Do we know if he had any medical conditions?
I do not.
Because crazy people, some of them want to be. It's called suicide by cop.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
Okay. So we don't know if he had any, illnesses where he was so to the point his political beliefs got, so much in his head or whatever that he's like, I don't know, man. You just can't put that and then go, ha ha ha. It's only, I was just mad, officer. I was just mad that day. They already visited him one time.
Yep.
Right?
They, according to the reports, they already visited him one time. I can't say for certain because I was not there, but according to the reports and how the story has been being told, is they already paid a call on him one time because of some questionable things that may have been posted on social media or somewhere, or some sort of language somewhere, someone heard or something or whatever, for whatever reason. They say that the FBI already paid a call to the fella and kind of tried to get him to knuckle under, so to speak, and come into line with not making so much noise.
I don't. Okay. I mean, look. Come on. I love the battle. I love the conversation. Um, I mean, but you had also all kinds of conspiracy theories now. Now that we had this discussion, where do you think your head's at? You still think that this was an assassination by the Biden administration to shut a little uh
I believe they shut this guy
oh
up and
man.
made an example of him, so more people will stop talking about and bad mouthing and getting ideas about Biden and the Biden administration.
But it is
I believe that.
I oh man. Uh I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. Something is uh I don't know how else to try to convince you or your viewers or whatever. If anybody's gonna Anybody wants to chime in on this, man? Go ahead, type it in. I mean, look, I just think this guy was an old guy. Okay, he was probably had some social network fan group on like hating the Bidens or whatever and stuff like that. I don't know, man. And then he, said what he said, and then let the FBI gives him a red flag, and then they show up at his house. Only 2 agents, maybe 1 agent, we don't know, and talks to him then and says, "Listen, Mister So and So, you can't post stuff like that on the internet." And then Mr. So and So's like, uh, just by how he's like this and threatened to kill the president, I'm sure he sat there and he's like, "Listen, you know what I mean? Who are you to come in my home? And it's my constitutional First Amendment right to say whatever the hell I want." And then the FBI's like, "Yes, sir, it is. It's your First Amendment to say, whatever you want. You're absolutely right, sir. But you can't threaten the President of the United States. It's against the law in our country to do so. Stop it." Okay?
Yeah.
And what does he do? Now he's there saying, "I got my ghillie suit, okay? And I got my Twitcher, baby." You know what I mean? I'd show up too. I'd show up too to see what his intentions were. And said, "Look, hello, here we are again." Man, look.
I think you're being a little too kind with the mindset of the FBI, because in their back, you can't tell me in the back of their mind they didn't have. We already warned this guy once. We're going to go take care of him. You can't tell me that wasn't in their mindset.
No, come on. Listen, I get it. I think the DOG's corrupt, FBI's corrupt. They're bipartisanship. They're, the head honchos are leftists and all of that stuff like that. Man, and it shouldn't be like that. When you get these jobs, you're not supposed to have any freaking political bias at all. But we know that's not true now, right, Mr. B? They still go ahead and, pick a side, right?
History doesn't lie.
Okay,
Look
Mr.
what's
B,
happened for the last 6 years with Donald Trump.
I'm just having a hard time, okay? Believing that our government is like capable enough, to do something like that, just to go up there, throw a flashbang, kick the door in, shoot this guy dead. You know what I mean? Now, I understand about Ruby Ridge. I've watched it extensively. I read about it extensively, everything. That just turned into, I think, the biggest clusterfuck in American history as far as stuff like that goes. Okay? All these guys had to do, and we're not going to have this big discussion about Ruby Ridge, please, Mr. B.
No.
But all the FBI agents had to do was drive up there and knock on the door, and this guy would have complied. He said he would have complied until somebody took the top of his wife's head off. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Now, all I'm saying, conspiracy theories aside, if we see the Ring video or whatever stuff, I'm sure you'll keep track of this show on Politicking with Mr. B.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know, Mr. B. I don't think it was this. It's this big, conspiracy. The Biden administration had this guy knocked off, or the FBI knocked him off. We'll see how far it gets investigated, Mr. B. We'll see. And again, I know Politicking with Mr. B will definitely keep a track of it.
Absolutely.
And the FBI.
If it turns out that everything comes out and I'm all wet, I'm going to say it. I'm all wet. I was wrong.
Right.
But mark my words when I tell you that I'm usually never wrong about these things.
Well, we'll see. This is a story you should stay on top to do more research on.
I want to take a moment, by the way, to acknowledge Mrs. V45 having written, and she said, not all the FBI, there are some good ones out there. And I want to thank you for your input and for coming along with us and viewing it. And yes, absolutely, there are some good FBI agents that are out there. There's some bad FBI agents out there.
All right,
It's
Mr.
true with
B.
all people from all walks of life. Good shoemakers, bad shoemakers, good cops, bad cops, good laundry makers, bad laundry makers, whatever. It's human nature. It's people.
Mr. B, it was a pleasure being on your show again. Thanks, thank you for asking me to jump on.
Thank you for coming in and helping out. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that this is Coach's Corner time that the Mr. B show is on. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Coach's Corner is no longer airing on the FFN network. We like to wish Coach all the best in the world. His schedule is crazy. He's got some things personal going on in his life right now. And again, we wish him all the best. So starting next week, the Mr. B Politicking with Mr. B will be at its normal time before we boost him up to 8 o'clock. He will be back on from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the FFN network. Thanks, Mr. B, for having me on, pal.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. And thanks to all of the people
Mr.
out
B,
there.
I got a
Yes?
funny video to show before your show ends, if you wouldn't
Please,
mind.
please go
ahead.
by all means.
You can
Go
say
ahead.
goodnight to everybody.
Yeah, everybody, thank you so much. We've had a wonderful show this evening. I truly appreciate your viewership and your comments and your ribbing and whatever else we get. We will see you again next week. In the meantime, stay tuned here. Apparently, we've got a special little something coming from Mr. Blazeman. Go ahead and launch away, Blaze. We'll see you all again soon. Thanks.
Cookie.
About the strength of the dollar.
Our economy is strong as hell. Looks like we've got our saboteur.
That's your wife, sir.
Huh? Yeah, so it is.
This is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, this guy. No, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister.
I want you to meet Mr. Wilson and Mr. Rosner from Rockman Aviation. They'll be observing the operation.
Oh, yes, of course. Okay, I'm all right, no problem. I slipped in a crab.
Oh, I'm good. Yeah.
It seems like only yesterday I was strafing so many of your homes. Here I am today begging you not to make such good cars.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. I traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact. Does that make any sense to anybody, or is it just me?
Admiral, you dare call yourself an American? Well, that gets my panties in a bunch. It's scum like you that put a taint in our military.
You want to check my shape on? Let's do push-ups together, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do.
President Benson. No, you're not. Seen him on television. He's an older man, about my height.
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
Mr. President. Oh, Jesus. Don't you ever sneak up on me like that again.
This afternoon, Benson made a brief stop in Fergus Falls, Virginia, for the groundbreaking of his presidential library.
Where's the target area?
It's Minnesota, sir.
Oh, damn it, man. That's the genius of my plan. We don't have to traipse all over the world to fight. We can do it right here at home. Get us some good fishing while we're at it.
Sir, the enemy is over there.
Then we'll fly them over here. They can bring their relatives. We'll teach them to ice skate. Do I have to think of everything?
We're going to help. We have plans to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across the Indian Ocean. We have plans to build in in Angola, one of the largest solar plants in the world. I can go on, but I'm not. I'm going off script. I'm going to get in trouble.